Good morning, it's good to see you. I've met a few people over the years when I've come through Jogyakarta, and one of them is Dan, who's standing behind me. Dan's an international voiceover artist who's just bought a property here that he's renovating, been kind enough to invite me to have a look at it and ask him a few questions along the way. Dan, thanks very much for having us, mate.
No worries, Wayne. Good to see you, mate.
You too, it's been a while. Got a bit of a view from your property, Dan.
Yeah, well, down there, that's the mountains of Imagiri, and Imagiri's, it leads down the other side down to Parangtritis Beach. There's an area called Guwasari. It's a little bit south of the city, and I decided to come out and look for some properties here, and found this place, which actually...
How big is it? It looks like it's a pretty large...
Well, it's sort of tucked away. You can't really see it from the road at all.
Well, should we take a walk down and have a look?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
How long have you had it? You've only just bought it, haven't you? You sort of...
Yeah, a couple of months ago. I've been living in the... I suppose in the inner city, the tourist area, for quite a long time, about 7 years since I came back to Indonesia. I originally came here in 2016. I was on an assignment with Australian Volunteers Abroad, actually, and this was my second assignment after I'd been living in Laos for 2 years in the capital city there, Vientiane. And anyway, I came here and I really liked the city. It reminded me a lot of Vientiane. Before I'd come over to Indonesia and Laos, I was actually living in Tasmania for a long time. I'm originally from Queensland, but I was living in Tasmania for a long time. That's where I set up my media company in the early part of the 2000s, around 2001. And, you know, I was doing all sorts of media, audio, video, websites, social media when it first started, all that sort of thing.
Sure.
But when I came over to Laos, while I was on the volunteer assignment, I was kind of thinking to myself how good it would be to actually concentrate on doing what I've always loved, which is being a voiceover artist. So I gave away all my other media commitments and thought, right, I'll try and make a go of it as a voiceover artist. And, you know, it's been pretty successful, which has allowed me to live over here. And, you know, the years just keep on going by and by. Anyway, let's go and have a look at the house.
So this is
the house.
This is the main entryway, obviously.
Yeah, and we've got a fish pond here. Came with the fish.
Yeah.
And then we walk inside. So at the moment, we haven't really done any renovations other than, you probably see up there, we've had the rewiring done. The guy who owned this before was an owner builder. So it's in here, you've got like 2 single bedrooms in here. And all of the bedrooms have, well, there's no light in this one, but there's light in here. They've all got an ensuite. And then you've got a couple of double bedrooms over that side. Each of the bedrooms have an ensuite. Oh, and here's Shanti.
Oh, Shanti. Hi, Shanti.
My partner. Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's just
busy settling in or getting ready to settle in?
Yeah, definitely. So all this furniture came with the place too. So we, you know, there's way more than what we need. So
what are these? Well, yeah, they're not yours.
Oh, yeah, and these came with the place. These are Javanese kris. So kris is like a decorative sword that they wear, you know, and I guess in religious ceremonies. And
they look like they've got a bit of age to them as well, Dan.
Yeah, they probably have a lot of them. You know, they're quite...
What's this? This is a nice handle.
Yeah, very nice, and it's not a bad little kris, this one. I think, look out. So they are a bit like that. Anyway, there you go.
Yeah.
So I've got to, if I'm going to keep them, I'll get them fixed up, I should think, but... Yeah. You know, they're all handmade.
So a fair bit came with the property, Dan.
Yeah, totally. Like that's going to be where the master bedroom.
Oh, this is the master. Can I have a look in the master?
Yeah, sure. No worries.
Oh, nice high ceiling.
Well, it's not actually completely finished yet, and then we've got that's where the new bathroom will go in there.
Right.
And then if we go back this way, this goes out to the kitchen, and you'll see out through there before we go. There's quite a lot of garden space out there. So this is where the kitchen and bathroom are going to be. Kitchen and laundry, I should say. So we'll have a laundry over there, and there's a well and tank there, but that'll all get replaced. Take out these wooden panels, put in a nice big island benches here, and I don't know what we're going to do with this yet. Probably take that off and plaster it and make a pantry here and a relaxing area here. And of course you've got these great what I'd call squatters chairs. Where
Look at this, that you can put you've got cup holders.
Cup holders and newspaper.
Newspaper.
Well, I mean, that's a bit old style.
It's a little bit colonial even, I think, over here.
Well, you can imagine the old planters.
Who actually owned the house before you?
A guy.
A guy. And Indonesian, obviously.
And I heard he had a bit of a idea to turn this into like a wedding centre or something, but I don't know why he didn't. But you'll see over here there's a big joglo. We'll go up and have a look at that after. But let's go and take a walk down through the backyard. So down here, you'll see there's a big area here. We're going to build a pool here eventually. So
beautiful.
It'll be actually raised up. And I had a wild idea about, maybe making like a little bit up
diving board?
No, not a diving board. A bit where you could actually, because when you get up there, you'll see there's some steps. A bit up there where you could actually jump in up there, and there's almost like a hot tub.
Oh yeah,
but it's above the pool.
Yeah, like it.
And so then you can go down, maybe down through the bottom of the hot tub.
Oh yeah,
get into the pool.
Love it.
I don't know.
Love it.
I don't know.
There's
whether
that
it's
creative
feasible.
brain of yours going into overdrive.
So anyway, here we are out into the
so
backyard.
you've got some bamboo.
Heaps of bamboo, and you've also got over here lemongrass. So this place is absolutely full of fruit trees as well. So you back up the driveway, there's heaps, but you've got mango trees here everywhere.
Yeah.
So big mangoes. You've got lemongrass. There's a whole lot of stuff that's already planted here. So when we walk through, you've got this yellow bamboo, which is quite nice, and this area over here. So the idea would be, once the pool's in over here, so you'll have the pool in there, you'd be able to get out. Maybe I'll bring those squatters chairs down to here. Then this will all be nice, and you can come up here into here. This first bit, I'm thinking we make into like a little kind of relaxation area.
Oh yeah.
And of course, here's another thing.
Will you have a studio here at all for your voiceover stuff?
Definitely. Here's another thing that came
with it.
Place, an old batjack.
Yeah. Well, if times get tough, mate, you can make a quid, eh?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'd have to get the old legs working a bit better. But these things here, they're called lumbung.
Lumbung.
Which is, they originally were made for...
looks like the start of a canoe. Looks like an old water trough you'd find in Kalgoorlie.
Well, funnily enough, they are actually, they did have a purpose. They were used for putting all the rice in there. And the rice, once they've collected it all, and then they pound it in here.
Ah, right.
And then take it out and fill it up.
There's some holes there.
Yeah. So now they've become like decorative tables.
Yep.
And you'll see a few of them up in the joglo. So that would be where we'd have the relaxation area for the pool. And then right behind, this bit here, from that beam there to this one, this would be my studio.
Obviously, the obvious question is, Dan, and I hope you don't mind me asking, how much did you pay? Because it's a huge property.
Look, it all up, the actual sale price was 230 billion.
Right.
Right, which is rupiah, which equates to about 200, and I think at today's exchange rate, about 225,000 Australian dollars.
Yeah, and with what you have planned, you're obviously going to be tipping a little bit of money into it as well.
Well, after all of the, we paid all the fees associated with it. So you've got, legal fees, government, buyer's tax, all sorts of other little fees around. It ended up being about $250,000.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And you'll do the renos in one hit, or you'll just steadily?
Well, at this stage, I'm thinking if we want to move in, because I want to try and get in by probably September or in July, and my birthday would be nice, but I don't think that's going to be feasible.
So this is an entertaining area, or?
Yeah. This is called a joglo. And actually, I've been told this is quite a big one and quite a intricate one. So there's some Javanese type of not mysticism, but cultural references. So if you have a look over here, up at the beam up there, you can see it's sort of like stylized flowers.
Yep.
So that's meant to apparently meant to symbolise fertility. That must be, maybe that's for the wedding thing.
I'm assuming
and all the flowers here, they also are supposed to represent fertility.
I'm assuming that's not part of your future, Dan. I don't know. Are you thinking about having children?
No.
Is that time gone now?
Well and truly gone.
Can I ask your age, Dan?
Yes, I'm 63, nearly 64. And I had a vasectomy when I was 35, I think.
Right.
So
you knew,
a long time ago.
knew it wasn't for you.
Well, no, I already had kids. I've got 2 daughters and 2 sons at the moment, and they all live. 3 of them live in Tasmania still, and 1 lives in Adelaide. You know, and they're happy in their lives, all independent and successful in their 30s.
Oh, good.
So, you know, no longer need the old fella. I mean, this is one of those lumbungs here.
Yeah.
You know, this is the way they present them to go out and you know, sell them. Apparently they're worth somewhere around $1,000 each.
Goodness
for one
me.
like that size, and maybe 600 for one that size or something. But
what do you think? Any idea, ballpark figure, with the work that you want to do?
What's it going to cost?
Yeah, another 100,000.
Maybe up to that, probably another 100 grand.
Chocolate sapote.
Yeah, black sapote. See this fruit here?
Yeah.
So when that turns pretty much all black, it means it's ripe. And when you open them, I can only ever remember eating one of these once, and they're like if you can imagine a really nice ripe avocado crossed with a chocolate cake. So
that sounds lovely.
Oh mate, I can't wait to.
And the texture's soft.
It's very soft. So I think this one's starting to ripen up. Yeah.
Dan, thanks so much for the tour, mate. Really appreciate
No worries,
it. You're not a man to sit around for long, though, are you? You've got something else going on?
Yeah, I've just been starting to renovate a bar in town, so why don't we go and have a look at that, and I'll show you what we've got going on. It's a sports bar, so I reckon you might like that.
So can I ask you, Dan, what do you think one of the more difficult parts of the transition of being here has been?
Well, I mean, as you know, I spoke to you before about being in Laos first, so, you know, I was already sort of acclimatised to Asia, as it was, but there's a fair few differences between Laos and Indonesia, not the least being Laos a Buddhist communist country, and Indonesia is a majority Muslim democracy. Yeah,
so has that...
wait for these wild young guys to come past on their motorbike and go up onto that bit. Oh no, there we go, watch out, there you go. Righto fellas, don't fall on us. They've just been down there fishing, I think. Didn't look so successful. But well, one of the things was the heat initially, because I went directly to Asia from Tasmania, so you can imagine that was a fairly big transition, given that it's a you know, cool temperate climate to go to tropical heat. So I was sweating like a pig for most of the first 5 years. But anyway, so 2014 I went to Laos, did my assignment there, then got assigned here to Jogja, and I really liked Jogja because it reminded me of Laos, which I didn't really want to leave at the time, but now that I'm acclimatised here, I really love it here. And you know, it's been a great experience living here. There's lots and lots of differences, obviously, between living here and living in a Western country like, you know, Australia or Britain, or the US or Europe or whatever. One of obviously the major one is the language barrier. So, you know, I mean, even after almost 11 years in Asia, and you know, living full time here in Jogja since 2018, I sort of went to a few places in Indonesia before I finally really settled in Jogja, but the major difference was the language barrier. So I'm still tidak fasih, which means I'm not fluent in Bahasa. And
you've obviously got yourself set up with the house now and getting that in order, and you're taking us to show us your little business that you've got. Is this now? Are you now set up financially for the rest of your life here? Is you've generated enough income to?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you know, obviously you got to be careful, but it doesn't really cost a lot of money to live here.
Yeah. How much would, if you were, and I know this is a really difficult question, if you were going to throw a ballpark figure out for someone around your age, early 60s, that's going to decide to leave Western living, how much do you think they should land with?
Well, I mean, again, it depends what type of visa you're going to get. So there are certain sorts of requirements surrounding visas, but you know, you could easily come over here with less than $100,000 and set yourself up. I mean, I rent a house which everyone tells me is too expensive for $500 a month. It's a 3-bedroom house.
I've seen it. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I've been living there for nearly 8 years, and
it served you really well, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, and I've got my studio in there, and you know, I do my recordings you know, every day. If there's work to be done, I do that, and then I go off and do whatever I want to do.
What about the health? Health is another thing that a lot of people should be concerned about. As we get older, we have more issues that come along. A lot of people are reticent to come to Indonesia because they don't feel that there's enough support in the health system for them.
Actually, there's, you know, like in Australia particularly, you know, I know about that because I go back there, but Australia has a health system that's supposed to be quite good, right? But what I've found is Indonesia's health system is equally as good in a lot of respects. However, you need to, if you don't have insurance here, you need to health insurance. You need to actually pay for everything on the spot.
Yeah. I think as far as major surgery goes, I think it's my experience that a lot of expats either use Singapore or KL. But in my experience from people I've known, the anything less than a major surgery is now pretty well serviced, I think, isn't it?
Oh, very much so. And I mean, even in Bali, I noticed the other day they've just opened up a new international hospital, which I'm told is the equivalent of anything in Singapore or KL. This is one of the things that people don't understand about Asia, particularly coming from Australia, where we've got a small population. Couple of things. One, you know, people go, oh, it's a Muslim country. Okay, yes, that is the majority, but there are more Christians here than the entire population of Australia.
Yeah.
Number two, one of the things about health here is that, you know, there's so many people. What have we got? 27 or 280 or 275 million people here. It's an economy of scale. They've got to be looked after, which means Indonesian doctors have been trained in places like Singapore, Australia, America, Europe, the UK, and they're coming back here. Sure, there is bureaucracy to deal with, but they're gradually changing the system.
And your career hasn't gone on hold, Dan. You're still in the same industry you were before. You're a voiceover artist still.
Yeah, very much so. And I work from home. I still work for clients around the world, mainly in, you know, the UK, Australia, sometimes in Europe.
Do you find it's a lot of most of it's sort of ads or commercials, or is it movie stuff? Is it trailers? Is it promo?
Most of what I do for Australia is on hold messages these days, and a few corporate videos here and there.
Yeah.
You know, believe it or not, I've got a lot of clients from Asia, and you know, I did this video about 6 years ago, I think it was. And it's had over 64 million views.
That's it.
And my intro to it now gets played in schools, you know, at assembly, because it's become like it's nowhere near the national anthem, but it's almost, you know.
Good.
Hi, welcome to Spark Bar, Jogja's #1 sports bar.
So how long have you had the bar, Dan?
Well, I've been involved only about over a month and a half, but I've been coming here for 8 years or so. And okay, I put enough money into it as a customer. I thought I should put some in as a partner. So I approached the other guy, who's my partner here, and said to him, look, what do you reckon? Shall we do this up and actually make it into something that we can both enjoy? Yeah, Wayne, I love it here. I've been a customer for about 8 years, and one of the things I love about it is that I get to meet people from all around the world, and I really like talking, as you've already seen. So, you know, it's great. I meet people from Europe, America, you know, Asia, Australia too, and they all come and enjoy it.
You've got an upstairs area as well, haven't you?
Yeah, and we've got 5 screens up there now. We just put them in, so it's actually, you know, just sort of starting to kick in.
Shall we go have a look?
Yep, I think so.
Cool. Time to start work, Kiki, yeah?
Yes.
Sorry about all the motorbikes. Very busy street out here, but
Good place for a bar.
Yeah, well, exactly. Let's hope they stop, eh? So this is the upstairs part of Spark Bar. This is where we've installed all of the big TVs now, big screens. So we've got AFL, we've got NRL. You can watch MotoGP, EPL, also any sport pretty much that you want. It hasn't really cost a huge amount of money, but you know, I haven't factored in the fact that I like a few beers as well, so probably it is actually going to cost a bit more. But anyway,
It'd be remiss of me if I didn't say hello to Michelle, because he's one of the biggest characters in town here. Michelle, good to see you,
mate.
George.
How are you?
Good day, mate, did you say?
Hey.
Michelle, how long have you been living in Jogja?
Now, let me say 20 years.
Already?
Yes.
Married?
No.
Not married? No. Children? Many.
In Holland, but they also, they have their own life. So
yeah.
Papa went 20 years ago here. I've been many times back to Holland, and now I stay here.
Why do you love it here? Why? What's so good about it?
It's the mentality of the people here. They are totally. I give you an example. When I was a young kid, it was the same like it is now here. So friendly, social, and then for a Muslim country, really the mentality here is totally different than somewhere else. The Muslim people there. I'm sorry, but these people, that's what I like here. They are so they how you say it? They don't make difference in what kind of religion you have. Everybody's same here, and they respect each other, and I like it.
Yeah.
Really like it.
Yeah, that's
But
good.
I'm happy here.
Do you think you're going to die here? This is your last place?
I think so, because when I came first here, it was like a deja vu. I feel home. I've been in many countries, but here is my home.
Yeah.
I really love it here. The mentality, the lifestyle, cheap here, healthy. Instead of this, okay, this is a big town with a lot of pollution, but it's every day is sunshine. Now the rain season is finished, so the dry season is coming. So I like it. I like sun and I like light and good nature.
Always good to see you.
Nice
mate.
to meet you
Again.
Thank you again, yeah. And have a great time here, my friend.
I will, of course. I always do, Michelle.
Okay, thank you.
That's just about it from me. As always, thanks very much for coming along for the ride. I hope you're well and happy in life and doing the things you want to do. We'll see you soon.
sorry mate if I've been advertising it a bit hard, but advertising's in my blood. I've been doing it since the 80s, so you know,
What are you going to do?
Exactly. Thanks, Wayne.